Hello, happy Friday, everyone. Let's get my chat up. All right, so a really interesting thing just happened, and I'm glad it did, actually. All right, so here's what happened. I'll open up the file so you can take a look at this. Hello, hi, Mr. Maximus. All right, so check this out. Let me go to render view. And, well, actually, why don't I just pull it out? No. Undock. Okay, make it a little smaller. Now make this a little bigger. It should be good enough. Go back and hit play. Okay, so mind you, this is just like not the actual view, but here's what we're working with. Yesterday I was working with these cubes and an emitter, and I was shooting them through. Here I changed it to have like a bigger sphere smashing through, and then I'll show you the project actually. But I took the one tower that was just a cube with a cloner, kind of just like a grid array, and then I copied them and changed the scale and stuff like that on a couple of them to make them look a little different, and applied a couple different textures. And so then I applied this like camera movement, and I'm not so happy, man. I mean, camera movement takes a lot of practice. The lighting is just a physical sky, but I turned the sky off and I just made it like a white sky, which I'll show you too. So I still get the lighting of a physical sky because I'm not great with lighting yet either. So I just have like this natural physical sky lighting, and it plows through here. So you have like this simple camera effect. Um, so here you go. Here is I'm going to pause this guy. So the floor has like this asphalt texture, and then I have three kind of metallic textures on um, my buildings, if you want to call them buildings. And again, those are just cube cloners. If I F1 you and zoom you in and rewind you. All right, these two are just kind of the same. And this one, I changed the bounding box, I guess you could call it that. Is that what it is? Um, Let me see, which one am I on? Okay, yeah. So here, this cloner is, the form is cylinder instead of cube. So I messed around with those. The sphere one is actually pretty cool too, except it gives like I don't like what it does to the bottom as well. So if you change it to sphere, I love that top, but the bottom gets, the same thing as well. So I wasn't too into that. Anyway, so those are my objects. Each one of these all have rigid body tags on them. So when the sphere smashes into them, and then I put some interesting, well, whatever, beginner dynamics, like initial linear velocity, I put to 500, so that thing comes, and I raise it above the floor, so when it comes in, it has like a slow sort of velocity to it. I didn't want it to be too fast. I wanted it to roll and kind of steamroll through. Excuse me. And then, oh, I put a little bounce on it. I was playing with the bounce between the floor and the sphere, bounce and friction, and I don't know. I'm still playing with how the two interact with each other. Anyway, here's what happened. I started rendering this thing out. I put global illumination on, and I put ambient occlusion on, and this thing went all night. It was at 11 hours, and at frame 168, it crashed. But here's what I did. Let me go back in, sorry. So I changed my render settings to PNG. And I messed around the other day with JPEG. So here's what happens. If you set this up as a PNG or a JPEG or a still image file, and then you do all frames, so this is going to output 200 frames as JPEG, PNG, or TIFF files. Now I should play around with TIFF, maybe actually too. But here's what happens. It exports out to, I put this one in backup, to my external hard drive. So here is my collision test. It exports every single frame as a still image. And you can see I have 167 out of 200 because it crashed at 168. It's not the end of the world. If it was an MP4 file, I would have been pretty ticked because that would mean I would need to start the entire MP4 render over. But because it's a still image, I could just pick back up. I could set my output again. I can go back into my render settings and just change my frames from 168 to 200, and it'll pick up where it left off, right? So it's not the end of the world. I saved myself that way. Here's the next thing. I take all those images. If I go into Adobe Media Encoder and I just hit this plus sign, and I go into that folder and select all of them and hit open, Adobe Media Encoder will automatically take all of those pictures and start to encode it into whatever file format you set it up. Here I set it up as an MP4, right? H.264, which is the format for MP4. Here's the two things that are cool about that. First is the speed on this thing that it takes. I mean, yeah, it's still like an 11, probably 12-hour render. But if it was an MP4 render, it would take maybe twice as long. You might be looking at an entire day of rendering. So here's 11 hours, which is still ridiculous, and I still think there's got to be a way to get better processing power to process my renders faster. But I could deal with 11 hours. I just do it when I go to bed. Wake up, a few hours later, it's done. But once you have your PNG images, this Adobe Media Encoder took 30 seconds to render it out into a video. Again, I just rendered 167 frames, not the full 200, but still 30 seconds of a render. That's pretty awesome. Here's the second thing that's cool about it. In Cinema 4D, if I go to my render settings, because I have this as a 1080 by 1080 because I like square format, I've just like gotten accustomed. I love the way, well, it's just because I want to post these things on Instagram, but I find when I post a 1080 a square format to, say, Facebook, say, Twitter, I just like the square format better. So I find that a square format can be applied across all of my social media profiles. I don't need to like reformat sizes, stuff like that for different social media platforms. I just do a square format, post to every platform. You can see here though, if I did MP4 here, save, if I change this to MP4, you see here it says your MP4 resolution might be padded or will fail. Well, guess what? It fails because I've tried to do 1080 by 1080 video format and it fails. It's fine if it's a still image, fails when it's a video format. So, for some reason, I'm going to put this back to PNG. For some reason, however, that 1080 by 1080, like Adobe Media Encoder doesn't care about the size. So I can keep the 1080 by 1080 and this thing will just render it out a perfect square format, and the final result is here. This might take a second, like it might be a little laggy at first. We'll run it through a couple of times. This one should be okay. There you go. Right? I mean, it came out pretty cool. I love the reflections. These metallic cubes are cool. The smash is awesome. The only thing I would change, I might change if I really want to get nitpicky. And again, I think it's just it'll come with experience of maneuvering a camera. I am not happy with the camera movement, and again, I probably need to go in and play with F curves and this and that, but this was just like a really quick, I just wanted to render something out, so I put a quick camera movement in. So if I, was really nitpicky, I'd go in and change camera movement. But it's cool. I dig it. Uh, yeah, so that's at 167. So I'm going to pick that up after the stream. I'm going to do it again from frame 168 to 200, and we'll see what we get. Okay, so that's that. Now, let's start something new. I want to play around. And I don't really know what I want to do. I have this idea, and I'm not sure if it's going to work. Okay, let's go to my splines. Can I do rectangle splines? And I'm going to change the axes to... Nope. Yes. X, Z. I don't know, what's 100 by 100 look like? Cool. Now, cloner. Grid array? What's honeycomb? Honeycomb could be... Whoa. What is that? That was cool. Okay, so honeycomb staggers them. That's neat. I'm gonna go 5 and 5 though. Or not. How is that 5 and 5? Sure. Okay, that's cool. Now, extrude you. Again, I'm not too sure what I'm doing here. Oh, it only did one. I think I know why. Maybe I don't know why. It just did one. Alright, we'll fix this. So, hierarchical means apply to the hierarchy. Sweet. I don't want the z-axis. I think I want y. And do I want up or down? I think I want down, so if I go like negative 100. Cool. I want more. That's cool. Okay, negative 300. Excellent. Think that's cool. Now, if I do back to my spline, I think I want another rectangle. XZ, and this is going to be, I don't know, 500? Oh, 5,000? I could do less than 5,000. 3,000. F2 top view. Not bad. Center you up. It's good enough. And what if I do 3,000 high? 1,000, man. A little much. Let's go 2,000. Cool. Alright, so I got this. Back to F1. Hopefully I can get this to work. Let's see. Extrude. I don't need to be hierarchical. I want that to be 0. What was that at before? 300? Okay, cool. Now, hold on. F4? That's pretty good, right? Looks pretty even. Yeah. Okay. F1. Okay, so now I got these little like cubes that I think, hopefully if I do this correctly, if I put these inside a connect, is that here? If I connect those, did that work? I don't think it did what I wanted it to do. I want, oh, well, that would have been smart if I lined up the, actually it's a lot smarter if I did it that way. Okay, hold on a second, I'm going to try something else. Try it on a plane. In a minute, you might see what I'm going for. What was that, 3,000? And this was like 2,000. Okay. I'm going to 15. 15. Nope. Because something like that. At least I got like relatively decent squares, right? Oh, check that out. When you zoom in even further, does it? Oh, that's just the grid behind it. Okay. This could work. What if I extrude you? What did I do? 300? Doesn't do it to the plane, huh? You can't extrude a plane. Okay. Try again. Cube view. Let's go. 3,000. Y is going to be 300. X is going to be 2,000. And now let's jack the segments up this way. X was 15. 1, Y. Z. Okay. One of these ways will work. Now, if I make you editable, select my faces, I guess, and go 1, Control 2. Oh, hello. Oh, come on. Shift? Interesting. Skip a section. Let's just go top view. F2. I wonder if there's an easier way to do this. Oh. Oh, that's what Control does. Control deselects. Okay, cool. F1. Now what do we do? Do you hit delete? Dissolve? I want to delete them. I want to make holes. Collapse? I don't think so. Backspace. So backspace did 1, but not the rest? I can't tell what that just did. Maybe if I put a material on, I'll be able to see it better. Oh, yeah. Looks like I got holes. Not on the bottom, though. So what, I have to do the same thing to the top? Or to the... Okay. Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. How do you get the opposite faces to also... Guess I have to do all these? Gotta be an easier way to do this. Now backspace. Oh, come on. Okay, cool. That looks like I got holes. Yeah. Okay. I just want to put a texture on you just to. I just want to just have something to look at. Oh, so interesting. Ah, okay. Now I got holes. Sweet. I like sort of see what I'm looking at. Does this make sense? Cool. Okay. Now I want. This is gonna be wacky. Not sure how this is gonna work. I mean, it's a terrible. The material is even worse. I'm gonna have to turn the material off. Nope. Either way is pretty bad, huh? Just give me a like grayish material then. Does that make it any better? It's all horrible. You can't see a thing. It's all brutal. What if I just went back to white? Is the white any better? I need to be able to see. That's rough, huh? All right. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. 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 Let's do this. And actually, maybe it's just the view that I'm doing. Maybe I should just go top view. But now you can't see the holes that are cut in it. Whatever. I'm being too nitpicky. There you go. Okay. 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 Cube. How big do you think those holes are? F2. That's pretty solid, right? Solid. F1. And I can't tell if that's the hole or not. This is going to be really tricky. Okay. Nope, that's too big. Too small. 250, you think? There you go. Looks like it fits inside. Is there anything underneath? This is such a strange view. Oh, because that's 3. I'm like, why does it look so thin? Oh no, it should still be 300 deep. Alright, now we should be flat on the bottom. I think. Alright, this could work. This could do what I want to do. Possibly. Clone you. Put the cube inside the cloner. And we did honeycomb. Is it on Y? I don't remember what this was. Alright, so I'm going to try to figure out how to get these things to match up so I don't have to make one for each one of these holes. Okay, so that's 8 width, 8 height, it says, which is weird because there's only 4. Also, these squares look way bigger than those. So, what's up with that? Shouldn't these be squares? That's the depth. I'm not looking at the right view here. XZ, that should be right. Alright, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring this up. I'm going to try to match this way. Like these. Grrr, this is annoying. It's the wrong way. Okay. This is crazy. That's the right way, except it's going to... Alright, let's change my cube depths then. This should be 300. 252. Oh, wait, Y should be 300. That actually makes perfect sense. Yes, because Y is going up and down. Okay, cool. I think I need to change the spacing a little bit in this cloner width. It's 350 too much. And I don't know. Let's put this to 350. This still doesn't look right. Do you understand what I'm trying to do here? I'm trying to get these into the holes. Okay. There's got to be, I got to be doing, I need better math here. And perhaps, I need to half these. Nope. Yes. Yes. Okay. Now, width. I can't tell if these are perfect squares or not. I wonder if this should be 200 by 200. Or 225 by 225. Who knows? Okay, this is getting better. That's what I want. That fits very nicely inside the square. Now let's go to my cloner and let's jack up. Nope. Wait. That's decent. 408. What if we did 400? I don't know, for some reason round numbers make sense to me. And then do the same thing here. What just happened? Oh, is my num block off? I think we're getting closer. Coordinates. 1. That's pretty close to 600, right? Okay, cool. Now it's going to totally mess up when I do 1, 2, 3, 4. I need 8. Nope, I need 7. Ah. All right, I think we're close. Let's drop you on the Z. Oh. Why? Boom. Is that? I can't tell. Something looks terrible there. Are these going directly into the... That might work. I'm sure there's way easier ways to do this. Okay. Control. Way over time here. So let's turn that cube. $200 here. Nope. Let's see if this works. Seems kind of big. Okay, just for now. I'm not sure what I want rigid body on. Well, it's only two things, really. Oh, wait, where is... Should it be three things? Oh, this one, too. This cube... Dynamics is off. This one I'm going to want dynamics possibly on. But I'm going to turn it off for the time being. So the only one that the dynamics is really on is the spheres, just to get an idea of where I'm trying to go here. This works. I don't know if I need more bounce here or what. Cool. Too much. Still going to be too much. Cool. Sweet. Alright, so my job here is, next I want to animate. I mean, I would love to have these all randomly bouncing different times. Is the ultimate goal. But for now, that's pretty cool. We're working with something. And then we're going to fix this time so it loops. Try to figure out so it loops nicely. Either at the top, it's going to have to loop at the top. So it's going to have to, like when it hits that peak there, I want it to loop right there to drop again. So we're going to have to match up the end position with the start position and the end position to hopefully get this thing to, when we animate it or when we render it down, when we watch playback, it's going to loop completely. Whoo! Man. We're going to call this, I don't know, sphere loop. This is like whack-a-mole almost. We're going to call this the sphere loop. Save you. And we'll come back and finish this up in, well, now 40 minutes. I'm going to, in the meantime, go back to my other project and try to get a few more frames rendered at least. Maybe I'll just wait till this is all, my streams are all done for the day. Alright, I'll be back in a little while. Thanks for hanging with me.